Good evening, and you're very welcome back to Around the Grounds here at Finalwhistle.ie. The second half of our League of Ireland coverage this weekend. Just two games down for decision today. One game in the First Division and one game in the Premier Division. Final whistle has just gone in the game in the Premier Division, but we'll start with the action at Bishopsgate, where the final whistle has gone within the last few minutes, as Longford Town hosted Cork City below or up in the Midlands. Reporting live from Bishopsgate is Denise O'Flaherty.
And it ended here at Bishopsgate. Longford Town won and Cork City won, and a powerful header from substitute Carl Chambers earned Longford Town a deserved share of the spoils against Cork City in an entertaining game, and Town definitely were the better side. Chambers headed home from Dylan Barnett's corner in the 85th minute after the home side had pressed hard for that equaliser. They had fallen behind to a superb goal from Cian Bargery. In the 16th minute, Kevin O'Connor played the ball out wide to Bargery. He cut inside before hitting a fantastic strike past townkeeper Luke Dennison. The home side had the better of the chances in the first half. Ryan Graydon was flagged for offside when through on goal in the 13th minute, and then 1 minute later a great strike from Sam Verdon was stopped by David Harrington. The visitors though opened the scoring in the 16th minute through Cian Bargery. In the 27th minute, Town felt aggrieved when they had a penalty waved away after Christian Magarusin appeared to have been fouled by Jonas Hakkinen. Minutes later, Graydon passed to Verge and his effort was stopped, and Magarusin really should have done better with the follow-up. The visitors had a chance to double their advantage in the 53rd minute. Aaron Bulger had a shot from distance, but Dennison was down to push it out for a corner. In the 63rd minute, a Shane Elworthy cross met the head of Verdon, but his effort was cleared off the line by Josh Honahan. Down the other end, and Matt Sherable played in Mark O'Mahony. He tried to round Dennison, but the town keeper pushed the ball away. It fell though to Cian Murphy, but his effort was blocked. The town netminder then denied Sherable with a fine save minutes later. As the game wore on, the home side kept pressing for that equaliser, and it arrived in the 85th minute to send the home side home support into raptures. It finished here at Bishopsgate. Longford Town won, Cork City won.
And thank you, as always, Denise. Definitely a result that will be appealing to all Galway United supporters this evening, as they will remain top of the table going into the action next weekend. We'll move to the Premier Division game of the night, which was Sligo Rovers taking on Finn Harps in the Northwest Derby up in the showgrounds. And reporting on the game is Rory Morrow.
Yeah, it finished 3-0 to Sligo Rovers at the showgrounds tonight. A comfortable victory in what was John Russell's first official game as manager following his interim spell. And it was a comfortable victory from the get-go, really. Sligo started very strongly. They had scored twice within the opening 10 minutes. Aidan Keena got their first inside 2 minutes, just 2 minutes. Lewis Banks did well down the right-hand side. His cross came in. Visiting goalkeeper Alan McGinley couldn't handle it, and Keena was there like any good striker was, a real poacher's goal, just a tap in. And minutes later, Sligo struck again through Carl O'Sullivan. Shane Delaney, there seemed to be nothing on. Finn Harps had a corner moments ago. Shane Delaney played it out, long ball. McGinley came charging out of his goal, was caught in no man's land, and O'Sullivan just kept his cool, took it around him and tapped it in again. So two cheap goals for Finn Harps to concede early on. They had chances to get back into it in the first half. It was quite bitty. Eric McWoods was their biggest threat. He came into the area and it was well stopped by Ed McGinty, and that was a key point, because if they could have got it back to 2-1, it could have been a different game. But Sligo were very comfortable for the remainder of the first half. Finn Harps introduced their new signing, Dylan Duncan, at half-time, and although he was booked for diving, the youngster generally had a good impact. In fact, Finn Harps were the better side for the second half. The majority of the second half, their passing was far better, far more sharper, more intricate, but crucially, they could not force Ed McGinty into a save, and sort of Sligo's efficiency, or more efficiency, was clear. Keena raced through in the 70th minute, had a great chance to make it 3-0, but he put it wide on the counter-attack. But 15 minutes later, he made no mistake. Carl O'Sullivan, who had a great game, he had a cross initially blocked, but his persistence paid off. He whipped another good ball back in, and Keena was there to head home and make it 3-0 5 minutes from time. A big win for John Russell and for Sligo, and it's a win that moves them back in the top half of the table. They're now 5th and leapfrog Bohemians. Finn Harps remain 9th and stranded from 8th place Drogheda.
And thank you, as always, Rory reporting there, of course, on the Northwest Derby, where Sligo Rovers picked up a big 3-0 win. We'll just go through the results for this evening's games, just if you missed it, just the 2 games, of course, down for decision. Of course, it finished 1-1 at Bishopsgate between Longford and Cork City. And of course, as Rory said there, Sligo Rovers picking up the 3-0 home win against Finn Harps. Looking, of course, at the league table tonight, we'll start with all of the action from the Premier Division to begin with. Sligo Rovers, of course, remaining in 5th place up there, 28 points, but at the top of the table, as we seen last night. Shamrock Rovers dropping points, and Dundalk now 5 points behind with a game in hand as well. There, we'll take a look at statistics as well coming from that division this evening. And Aidan Keena is now up to 9 goals for the season. It says 8 there. We're just waiting on that to be updated. But Aidan Keena up to 9 goals. He has leapfrogged the lads who were around him, and he is now just 1 goal behind Jamie McGonigal. The Golden Boot race in the Premier Division definitely looking a lot more exciting as the weeks progress. And we'll take a look at the clean sheet statistics as well coming from that division. And it was Ed McGinty's 4th shutout of the season tonight as well. He manages to go up to 4 so far for the season. We'll look at the Premier, or the First Division, should I say, next, between the game tonight. Of course, now Cork City just 1 point behind Galway United after this weekend's action. Not the result they would have hoped for this evening after Galway picked up their win yesterday, while Longford remain in 4th place. They're just 2 points behind Waterford in 3rd spot. Looking at the statistics coming from there as well, we'll take a look at the goal scorers, of course. Phoenix Patterson and Stephen Walsh are the 2 front runners for the Golden Boot in that division. While at the other side of the table, Carl Chambers managed to get his first goal, and a very important goal as well, as he managed to score in the 85th minute to rescue the point for Longford this evening, while Cian Bargery, the other goal scorer in the game tonight, had netted his 3rd goal of the season. Taking a look at the clean sheet stats as well from that division, David Harrington couldn't make it 9 clean sheets. It looked like he was on for his 9th clean sheet of the season. There's absolutely no change at all, as he remains on 8, while Conor Kearns of Galway is on 7, and Luke Dennison couldn't get a clean sheet tonight either, but he remains on 5 for the season. Now, we'll take a look at the fixture list coming up, of course. We'll be back in action next Friday. Starting with action in the Premier Division, we return next Friday. UCD have a tough task at the Bowl as they take on title-chasing Derry, who won't be happy with their performance last night. Dundalk travel to the capital for an away day at Tolka Park as they take on Damien Duff's Shelburne. Drogheda will be able to put a bigger gap between them and the chances of relegation when they host tonight's victorious Sligo Rovers at Head in the Game Park next week. While the final 2 games come at 8 o'clock, the other games, of course, at 7:45, where title holders Shamrock Rovers are back in action for Tala. They'll be looking for big 3 points after dropping points last night, a big Dublin derby against Bohemians, while the other tie sees relegation threatened Finn Harps. They were defeated this evening. They host St. Patrick's Athletic, who are chasing for European football next season. And moving to the First Division games as well. 4 games are on the card next Friday night. Waterford look to keep their unbeaten streak alive as they host Bray Wanderers at the RSC. Wexford are bidding to make 2 wins on the spin as they host Longford in the southeast. Galway, of course, have a 1-point lead at the top of the table, but 3 points at home against Treaty United next Friday could see them get a big title boost at the latter, going into just after we pass the halfway mark in the season, while Cork City will be looking to forget this evening's results as they are in action at Turner's Cross next Friday at the Cork Derby against Cove Ramblers. Of course, all those games kick off at 7:45 as well. That concludes all of our action from around the grounds this evening. All the match reports, of course, available on the Finalwhistle.ie website, and you can check us out on all the various social media platforms as well. And we'll be back for Around the Grounds next Friday evening, around the same time as always. But until then, have a lovely rest of your weekend, and we'll chat then. Goodbye.